When did you almost pass away in school? My sociology teacher brought in homemade banana bread for our class, but she put a deathly ingredient inside it. She was that kind of teacher who always wore floral dresses and complained about how kids these days had no respect. The whole class got excited when she pulled out this big Tupperware container full of thick slices wrapped in plastic wrap. I was starving since I'd skipped breakfast that morning. She started passing out the slices, and when mine landed on my desk, I immediately unwrapped it. The bread genuinely looked amazing, but when I brought it up to take a bite, something hit me. This weird smell underneath the sweet banana scent. My stomach twisted because I recognized that smell. Avocado. Mrs. Sutton? I raised my hand while everyone else was already chewing. Is there avocado in this? She looked at me over her reading glasses. No dear, just eat it. It's delicious. But that smell was still there. Faint, but definitely there. I'm deathly allergic to avocados. Like throat closing, can't breathe, need an ambulance allergic. My mom had drilled it into my head since I was 5 years old to always check ingredients. Are you sure? Because I'm really allergic and I think I smell. I said there's no avocado. Her voice got sharp. Just eat the bread. I spent 3 hours making it last night after grading all your essays. The guilt hit me hard. She had stayed up late baking for us after reading 30 essays about the social affects of cancel culture. Everyone was staring at me now. Some kids were already on their second piece, but that smell was still there, making my nose tingle in that specific way that only happened around avocados. I'm really sorry, but I can't eat this if there's any chance. Slam. Mrs. Sutton's hand hit the whiteboard so hard it called her mommy. You need to be grateful, young lady. I went out of my way to do something nice, and this is how you act? My face burned. Everyone was definitely staring now. This is what's wrong with your generation. Her face had turned red and she was waving her arms around. Everything is an allergy or anxiety or some made-up condition. You all need trigger warnings and safe spaces. Back in my day, we ate what we were given and said thank you. Nobody had all these fake allergies. It's because you're all so coddled and weak. You're allergic to avocado? Please, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. You probably read about it online and decided you had it too. Just like how everyone suddenly has ADHD and depression. It's all for attention. I felt tears building up. I tried convincing myself maybe I was being dramatic. Maybe it wasn't avocado and my mind was playing tricks on me. The whole class was silent now watching this play out. Tommy, who sat next to me, had stopped mid-chew. Mrs. Sutton crossed her arms. Well, are you going to eat it or are you going to continue insulting my baking? My hands shook as I picked up the bread. She was so sure. She was an adult and a teacher. She wouldn't lie to me about something that could hurt me, would she? I thought about my mom always telling me to trust my instincts, but Mrs. Sutton was glaring at me like I was the worst student she'd ever had. I took a bite. The bread was actually really good. Sweet and moist with a hint of cinnamon. I swallowed and waited. Maybe I had been wrong. Maybe it was just some weird banana type that smelled different. Mrs. Sutton smiled and nodded like she'd won some big victory. See? Was that so hard, you snowflake? I took another bite to show I was sorry for making a scene, then another. I'd eaten maybe half the slice when I felt it. That familiar tingle in my throat. The itch that started small but I knew would grow. My tongue felt thick. My lips started to buzz. No, 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 no. I stood up so fast my chair fell backward. My throat was tightening. I could feel my face swelling. The room started spinning. Someone screamed. I tried to say something, but only a wheeze came out. My hands went to my throat in the universal sign for choking, but I wasn't choking. I was dying. Everything went blurry. I heard chairs scraping and people yelling. Someone must have run for the nurse because suddenly Mrs. Martin was there with an EpiPen. The needle went into my thigh and I gasped as my throat opened just enough to get out one sentence. She lied to me. Then everything went black. I woke up in the hospital 3 hours later. My parents were there looking ready to hurt someone. It turned out Mrs. Sutton had used avocado in the banana bread because she's allergic to dairy. She'd been warned twice before about bringing homemade food to class because of allergy concerns, but thought the rules were stupid. The school fired her immediately. She had to pay my hospital bills, which my dad said were over $8,000. Last I heard, she was working at a grocery store selling fake weight loss pills and telling anyone who would listen how she was a victim of cancel culture.